horror movies. Mutilation, decapitation, torture. Does that sound entertaining? More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Welcome back, terrestrials, to the Quarantine Movie Reviews. In this episode, we're doing 2006's Turbo Kid. So we're going to move right into our categories. Show stealer. Who's your show stealer?
I'm going with Turbo Kid and the side character Apple. Turbo Kid and Apple have a great dynamic together, and they just steal the hell out of that show. They're fun to watch, and they act well together.
My show stealer is Apple. She's just so quirky and unique. And spoilers, she plays a robot. Overall, just her facial expressions, her acting, it's all just very attention grabbing. So, yeah, Apple for me. So, that brings us to our next category, show breakers. Any show breakers for this?
No. Nothing in particular in this movie, really. Yeah, there's nothing really I can even come up with on the fly.
Okay.
Anything?
I have two. I did not like the mixture of dollar store Indiana Jones / Crocodile Dundee. His character was annoying to me. He's supposed to be sort of the
hero.
The Turbo Kid ends up being the predecessor to. I didn't like him. I couldn't figure out why he was acting like Chris Pratt, acting like an action hero. And the other thing is the junk dealer, his two little braids.
The braids?
The braids. Not the character, just those braids piss me off.
Like, if you were in the wasteland, you would have cut those things off.
Yeah, I would cut them off of him. So moving.
Here, let me get that.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Free of charge.
So moving on into the next category, notable effects. What do you got for notable effects?
Oh man, this is great practical effects. There are like great blood effects that are not computerized. Yeah. You can hear those pumps are running when the blood starts a spraying, and there's tons of buckets of blood in this movie. They use practical effects like silicone rats and dummy heads that looked really good. There are when they use CGI, because there is some CGI in it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's minimal.
Agree. Moving on to topic number 4. Go ahead and...
the cinematography in the movie it's really dark, but not... Or cold. I would say it looks very cold. Like, there are no... Like, when the bright colors of, say, the red and the yellows... But out in the wasteland, because it's post-apocalyptic, it looks very cold. The shots they had are effective.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got nothing for cinematography. It was very basic to me, but it got the job done. So, quotable lines. You got a quotable line?
Yeah. Apple saying, "This is my gnome stick."
If you don't have one, make one.
Make one. Making a weapon.
This is my weapon.
This is my gnome stick!
Ah! Ah! I really like it a lot. Thank you so much.
So, for my quotable line in the movie, Turbo Kid comes across Apple and he runs away from her, but not before Apple slaps a bracelet on him. Literally a slap bracelet.
Yeah.
And he goes home, he goes to sleep, he wakes up, she's there. And he asks, how did you find me? And she says, "Oh, the bracelet." And he goes, "Oh, how do I get this thing off?" And she simply says, "Oh, you just don't." And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's my quotable line.
And it plays like well in the second half of the movie. where Apple and him get separated again. Like, we find out, she's a robot,
Right.
and they dump her in a scrap pile, and he has to go find her by using his bracelet. So,
Right.
so they keep using it.
That one moment. Was there that one moment for you?
Yeah. My one moment is definitely when Turbo Kid finds the turbo suit. And it's just an exciting moment in the movie, in my opinion. I'll give a shout out to that, and maybe a little bit to the pool gladiator moment, where Apple freaks out and stuff when they're in the pool, and the overlord is sitting there like, water is life. He's giving his little speech, and all his henchmen are going, yeah, and you can see Apple down there going, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
My one moment is in that exact scene, but when fake ass Indiana Jones, Turbo Kid, and Apple are down there in the pool, in the gauntlet, essentially, where these extra strong bad guys are, they're going to battle to the death. Indiana Jones is telling them, like, you gotta have a plan. You take this one, you take that one, and I'll take this one. And Apple just runs off and hits him.
Yeah.
And she's just gung ho to do whatever. Like, she's cool with and that's when I realized she was a robot, because she didn't understand tact or anything like that. So that was my one moment. Now let's talk about the score, the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack. It was very 80s synth, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was like listening to a She Wants Revenge album without lyrics. It was just tons of fun to listen to.
Very John Carpenter-esque synthesizer. It's basically how you do 80s soundtrack without being like one of those, like, the best of the 80s now soundtracks, where they throw every 80s song in there. But yeah, it's great. It's perfect. Yeah.
All right. So for this movie, was it meat or potatoes?
Nice blend. The slow moments or the down moments were there for our hero to have just a slow down, and when the action kicked in, when the violence kicked in, and there were buckets of blood everywhere, it was really over the top. So, and it never got boring or cliche kind of feeling.
Oh, this whole movie was a cliche.
Oh yeah, well, it was a trope.
For me, it was also a perfect blend of meat and potatoes. All right, so did you get your money's worth?
Yes, I did.
Same. Anything you want to talk about? Wrap it up?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to talk about just how a low-budget movie, there was so much heart put in this. Like, you cared for Apple and Turbo Kid with very little, and they didn't throw millions of dollars in there, because that's what Hollywood does when they're trying to create, these style of movies. And sometimes it just falls flat, but this movie accomplishes it with just a nice script.
Okay. My wrap up is I don't think any of that, but I definitely see how you could say that. They did a great job. It was an interesting movie. I can't say that I loved it. I can't say that I disliked it. It is, I don't know. It's going to take some time for me to really, I watched this a couple days ago, and it's going to take some time for me to really have an opinion on this movie. How many stars are you going to give this movie?
I'm going to give it 4.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
No, it's not. It's actually just a little bit more than half.
It's a lot for this movie.
No, 4. It's great.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to say more or not. I will not be giving this one 4. I gave her last movie 4, and I already forgot what that movie is. Oh yeah, House on Haunted Hill. I gave House on Haunted Hill 4.
Don't worry, they're just stars. It's not like
99
version. Yeah, you're not spending stars on movies like that's. I've already given 4 to 1 movie.
Nah, this one's definitely not a 4-banger for me. I will give this one. I feel like I'll give it 3. I wanted to give it 2.5, but again, I didn't dislike the movie, so I'm gonna give it the run-of-the-mill 3. So there you have it. That's Turbo Kid. Check it out. Let us know what you think if you've seen it. Tell us what you thought about it, and like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.